Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Today I will be reviewing the Gurkha Black Rose. Interesting label design. It's got skull, one of those carved skulls or tribal skull type thing on it, and roses on it. Just real nice, real attractive artwork as usual. Gurkha does a really nice job with their packaging. The cigar is quite firm. Ever so slight amount of give, right about how a well-constructed cigar should be. It's a Maduro wrapper. A little bit of toothiness there. Some minor veining, nothing major. Visible seams. Looks like double cap. Yeah, double cap. Nice aroma. Has what is that? That is familiar. I'm gonna have to think about what this first scent is that I'm getting off it, but it has some general tobacco type notes, a little bit of hay. There's something else there. It's familiar, but I'm not sure what it is. Foot has a little bit of leather, some cedar, some kitchen spices, and a hint of that other scent that I'm getting on the wrapper, but I'm not. Kind of reminds me of a shellfish, but not in a fishy way, but I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. Anyway, it's at good weight to the cigar. This is a 5 by, I think it was 52 ring. Let's see, I wrote that down. Yeah, 5 by 52 ring. As I mentioned, Maduro wrapper. This is a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Dominican Republic binder, and the filler is Dominican Republic and Ecuador. Manufactured in Nicaragua. That smells really nice. Real nice. Alright. Using my Cigar cutter again today. Good pre-draw. Not at all tight or overly loose. Oh, nice flavors. Very dominant leather, cedar. Slight peppery note there, nothing overbearing. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon. Very pleasant. Very pleasant. Alright, let me dig my lighters out of my pocket here. These lighters are killing me. Managed to get it lit. I tell you, I have had nothing but trouble with these torch flame lighters. Now I'm outside, so that's why I didn't bring my Alec Bradley tabletop lighter out, because it's a soft flame. But actually, there's really no wind, so I probably would have been alright. Anyway, Right off the bat, you get that initial blast of pepper, but it's not so strong that it puts you off. I've had some cigars that, oh, that pepper is just so strong, I could hardly stand it. Smoke's a little dry. At the moment, that's about all I'm picking up. The dry smoke and that blast of pepper. There's like almost like a Tabasco sauce on the finish, way in the back. Yeah, it's not a pepper like black pepper. It's hot peppers. Yeah, definitely. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so I'll get somewhere into the first third and I'll be back. I'm pairing today's cigar with Jim Beam Devil's Cut Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume. Other than the other day when I first opened it, never had this before. It's promising. I think it'll do well. It has some real interesting scents on the nose. Now, being 45%, and as I mentioned, I did sample some of this the other day when I first bought it. It wasn't balanced real well, I didn't think. Kind of raw, almost. So I went ahead and cut it right off the bat with 2 teaspoons of water into the dram here. Has an interesting nose. I'm having a hard time. There's a bourbony character to it. Sweet, but subtle, subtly sweet. Hint of oak. Hint of vanilla. Almost a fruit hint too. Grass. There's a lot going on with this. Hoping it'll open up a little bit as it sits in the glass. Now with this Devil's Cut, they say they've come up with a new way to extract the bourbon that's soaked into the casks, and gives it a deep, rich character that you don't normally get by just simply extruding the basic contents from the cask. And that would make sense, because anything that's managed to soak into the wood and would be left behind otherwise, if you can extract that, it would be very rich. Man, there is a lot going on there. Very woody. Hint of leather. Has an oak finish. A bourbony character on the finish. Still kind of raw. It's good. It's good. It's definitely interesting. It's different. And I always like interesting and different. So with that, I'll let it sit for a while. I'll give it a chance to open up in the glass a little bit more, and we'll get back to the cigar review. Here we are, just about 20 minutes in. I did go ahead and touch up the burn a little bit. It wasn't burning on one side, and I had attributed that initially to the fact that I was having trouble with my lighter. I thought, well, maybe I just didn't quite get it properly lit. But as you can see, it's flaky and doing a kind of a, it's flowering, I guess you would call that. So I'm definitely going to be tapping this off, because I don't want to be wearing it. It's holding on fairly well, but I'm going to round the edges off on the side of the ashtray just to keep it a little neater. And I might have to do some more touch-up on this because the burn is pretty wonky there. Good smoke output. It's on the retrohale, it's pretty mellow. I guess medium. As far as like on the retrohale, you're not getting that burn that you get with a powerful peppery cigar, but it's full. The smoke is full and smooth, but on the palate it's dry, and way on the back of the palate it's particularly dry. Not a whole lot going on. There's a little bit of that kind of jalapeno type pepper note to it, but pretty mild in that respect. It's not real forward on the flavors. Draw's good, smoke output's good, construction seems just fine. No issues there at all whatsoever so far, other than the wonky burn. But I mean, it's not doing anything funky. Some real subtle hints of flavors in there, and they're really hard to pick out. I'm going to have to think about this for a while. Everything's real subtle. It's good though. It challenges the senses. Makes you think, makes you search to pick out what's going on. Okay, I'll continue on with this, and I'll get somewhere into the second third, and I'll be back. Here we are, about 40 minutes in. Smoke's not quite as dry on the palate anymore. Smoothing out nicely. Now I did go ahead and touch up the burn again, and just have to see what it does. It looks like it's trying to go a little bit uneven right there, you can see, but we'll just see what happens here. Pleasant cigar. Medium body, medium strength. Flavors are very subtle still. It's a shame. It would have been nice to have the flavors that I picked up on the pre-draw and on the nose and that kind of thing. It would have been nice to have those carry through into the smoking of the cigar, but as is often the case, that didn't happen. As for the Jim Beam Devil's Cut, smoothing out, mellowing down a bit, not so raw on the nose. Almost I don't know, can you get creamy on the nose? That's what I'm getting. Not as far as a scent of cream, but it's smooth. Still a little raw on the taste. It's definitely mellowed out, but perhaps they could refine it a bit more to cut down on that rawness. A little bit of that sweet bourbony character. Definite oak finish. Pleasant. It's a good buy. Definitely worth trying. It's not horribly expensive. It's kind of middle of the road on the price. I don't remember what I paid for it. It was... Gosh, I don't remember. I think the 750 milliliter bottle was like $21 or something, if I remember correctly. All right. Well, with that, we'll get back to the cigar review. Here we are, just about an hour in. I purged the cigar and ended up wearing a big chunk of ash. But in doing so, I believe I've discovered the reason for the uneven burn. There are two small tunnels side by side, right where it's not burning properly. So I'm sure that's the reason behind it. The cigar did go out on me once. I laid it down in the ashtray for a minute or two and reflected on the whiskey. And when I picked up the cigar, it wasn't burning. So here we are in the final third. After I purged it, I did pick up some more nuances. Maybe a slight bit of meatiness, maybe. A little bit of mineral. But everything's still real subtle. Smoke is once again pretty dry on the rear of the palate. Starting to get a little bit warm. Not to the point where I would say I got to put it down, but it's definitely burning a little bit warm, and I'm sure it has something to do with the tunneling. So, I'll continue on. I'll get into the nub, and we'll see what happens from there. Here we are, about an hour and 15 minutes in. Into the nub. Still picking up that slight hint of meatiness, a little bit of mineral. Smoke is still dry. Cigar didn't get any warmer. It just warmed up a little bit in the final third, and that was it. Didn't get hot on me or anything. The two tunnels are still there. I did touch the cigar up one more time. Dry smoke. Pleasant cigar overall. Who would I recommend this to? Probably I would say an experienced cigar smoker. Gurkhas, in general, in my opinion, tend to not be for beginners. And this kind of follows right along those lines. It's a good middle of the road for a Gurkha. Not overpowering. Some of the Gurkha cigars I find to be far too mild, and a lot of the Gurkhas have very, very subtle flavors, so a new cigar smoker might not pick out the flavors. So there you have it. That is the Gurkha Black Rose in Robusto 5x52. Thank you for once again watching Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Catch you next time.